There's a new bug, which EA has responded to, we got Burglars, and the live stream was rescheduled. Hello, my name is Jennifer, and welcome to my Sims 4 news video. So, the topics I'm going to go over in this video is that new child distortion bug and EA's response, patch notes, what was new in addition to the Burglars, what was fixed, also a quick look at that Burglar blog post, some troubleshooting steps if you're having issues, some other new bugs, which there are a few, the impact of the update on mods and custom content, and also the fact that the developer livestream was rescheduled and when that's going to be. So the Sims Direct tweeted, and they also shared on the Sims Discord that they were aware of the issue impacting child Sims. It's also affecting infants and toddlers in existing saves that leads to body distortion. We're working to resolve this issue in an upcoming patch, and in the meantime, you can manually restore your Sims by using the workaround, which they link to. So they haven't given any indication of when that patch was going to be. And this tweet was on Thursday. So, and we didn't get an update on Friday. So hopefully it'll come sooner rather than later. So here's a quick look at that bug. And this screenshot here is kind of an extreme version of it, but it does happen like that. And, this does happen in games without mods, but it seems like possibly mods can make it worse, but it totally happens without mods. It's not a mod issue. There is also an issue where the Sim's neck is set too wide, and there's also one with small dogs being distorted, but I didn't really go over it. There's just mentioned in the thread, which has a lot of comments on it, as you can probably imagine, given the number of upvotes, which replaces the Me Too's. So for that workaround, this was from EA Cade, and where he essentially said there that they had identified the cause of the issue with that body distortion, and they're working to release an update which will resolve this issue in existing saves. Child Sims and brand new saves will not be affected by the bug. And I think that means new saves after the update, because they are affected in new saves right now. So he is saying you have to open the cheat control window, and he says how to do it on computer, and that if you're on console you can use a USB keyboard, but you don't have to, because there is instructions there for how to do it with console without a keyboard. So he's also saying to type in testing cheats true and hit enter, but that is not needed. It's only needed if you follow these exact instructions. But what you do need is the CAS full edit mode cheat, which you want to type into the cheat window. And then essentially, once you have the CAS full edit mode cheat on, you want to go into create a sim with your child. And what they're saying is to change the gender of your child sim and then change it back, and your sim should be back to normal. Another workaround I saw that worked for some people is just to choose one of the 3 preset body types. But either case, you use the CAS full edit mode cheat. And then he says how to turn the cheats off. Now, there is the comment there that, console doesn't need a keyboard, which he did update his post to say that and give this way to do it without a console. And the person also said the workaround disables achievements, so you should warn people. So what my understanding is, but I don't play on console, is that using testing cheats will disable achievements, but I've been told by a couple of people that the CAS full edit mode cheat itself does not disable achievements on console. So if you are on console and know whether or not that's true, I'd love to know in a comment below. But when you have the CS full edit mode cheat on, you can go change them on a mirror, and I think it might be on a dresser too, but I got a screenshot of a mirror. That's how you can do it, as opposed to what he is suggesting, which is to essentially shift click on the child sim and select the modify in CS cheat option, which is what you needed the testing cheats true for, but you don't actually, you can just use change sim instead. So here's just some of the examples further down, and there's the workaround about just changing the 3 body templates, but I did hear that didn't work for everybody, but it seems like the suggestion that Cade has given does. And then another thing with it is like infants, their eyes are smaller. There's an example there. There's a lot of screenshots on the bug post. And then someone said that, even though EA Cade's instructions say child sim, that it does fix the toddler bodies as well, because they were also having some distortion. I don't think it was quite as extreme from the screenshots I was seeing, but like maybe their shoulders and stuff were out. The other thing is someone did comment pretty early on about an article from Sims Community where Turbo Driver had commented on a previous article about there being some unused new addition in the game patch that maybe is for future speculation. And some people are wondering, and it has to do with age modifiers to essentially have like a slider for that. And so some people here are speculating that that might be the cause of this bug. But that is speculation. We don't actually know, but that is something that per this article, which I'll link to everything. I have a blog post with all the links. So if you want to find anything, it'll all be there. So anyways, so who knows, but that may be possibly part of the problem. But anyway, so here are the patch notes. So one thing they did add on is that in the game update, it includes a unit outlines feature in build mode only for residential lots. But that's part of the upcoming release of the Businesses and Hobbies expansion pack on March 6th, and it will not work without the pack, and it will be removed from the base game in an upcoming patch, and I'm guessing they'll probably do that whenever they do the patch to fix the other issue. If you're curious what that is, you can see there, unit outlines is there, and I checked, it was only in residential lots, but it doesn't work, as they're saying. Then, what's new in The Sims 4? I'm sure you already know, the Burglar is back, and is ready to cause some mayhem, and so they can rob residential lots and small business in the Businesses and Hobbies expansion pack. You can engage in dramatic fights or make a daring escape. And there's some top tapping music to go along with their heist that's been updated. And then there is a dev diary, which we'll go over briefly after we go over the patch notes. So the burglar alarm and police officer are what's been added. So there's a handy burglar alarm on residential or small business venue lots if you have the pack that you can put, and there's a screenshot of what it looks like in build mode, to keep your Sims belongings safe, upgrade them to break less often, to summon a police officer. They don't do that automatically, or give those burglars a shocking surprise. The Sim officers arrive dressed in their uniforms and they're ready to tackle those pesky burglars. And I believe that if you have Get to Work, it'll take from the place there. There's also a new burglar lot challenge called Heist Havoc, and it cranks up burglar activity for those who love a bit of excitement to make it, essentially even harder. But if you actually don't want burglars, there is an option in your game options under gameplay for, it's default on to allow burglar visits, but you can uncheck it if you don't want them at all. So I take it like there's 3 levels for burglars. It's disabled in the game settings. You have regular mode, which was mentioned somewhere as being rare, so it shouldn't be that common, or hard mode with that new Heist Havoc lot challenge. So what else is new? We have the tattoo transformation time. So they have new tattoo customization options. You can tweak the hue, saturation, opacity, and brightness of your tattoo design using sliders just like the ones for makeup. So that's something that's new with respect to them. And also there's filters for the different tattoo locations to make tattoos easier to browse, though I think I didn't get it from my bug section, but some aren't categorized properly. And there's the new gallery category tattoos, and that's for players with Businesses and Hobbies expansion pack to be able to create, share, and use tattoos with multiple layers and custom art. So that will be on the gallery. Now also there were some new colors and patterns for tops. So they added the Sims 25th birthday apparel. So each top fits feminine and masculine frames, and you can see them, what they look like there. And then there's also the Sims 25th Pixel Plum Bob hoodie. Now just keep in mind that new things that are added to base game don't have like a new symbol, so you just have to know to look for it. And the other thing we got were fresh colors for the Blanco Contemporary base game kitchen set. So there's 4, I'm seeing here 4 new colors that we can choose from. And then they did some usability improvements to the build mode for better navigation. So when opening build mode for the first time, it shows objects by room instead of styled rooms. And for existing simmers, your build mode will remember the catalog last viewed. And there have been new icons created for study and dining rooms in the objects by room to make it clearer. Also, club activities from more packs have been added. So if you have Get Together, there are more things that have been added. You can see that there. I actually went through and compared it, so you can see just at a glance. So for the food and drink, there were 9 options before the update, 12 options after, which I've highlighted. For art and music, there were 17 before. Afterwards, there was 18, so 1 more, the View collectibles, which was noted in the patch notes. Then for Hobbies, there were 3 more afterwards: do seances, flower arranging, and give massages. Fun and Games now has Play Who's Up party games, which is from Lovestruck. For the Mischief and Mayhem, you have, instead of just cast spells, which is still there, but they also have cast chaotic and cast helpful spells, so why that's under Mischief and Mayhem, just probably to keep it together. And same with, now there's use Evil Ghost Mastery and use Good Ghost Mastery. And then for outdoor, we have Play with Pets, Tend and Harvest Garden. Before we only had Tend Garden, and then also use Water Vehicles. For the social, there's nothing new. For this kids activity, they have use activity table, so that's actually a base game thing that is there. And then here, there's nothing new for home activities, but there probably should be, because doing laundry was noted on the patch notes, and that should be under home activities, and it's not there. There is actually a bug report for that, since it was said that it was going to be there, and it wasn't. Moving along, we also have some more mentorship opportunities. So it's experience an overhaul with more skills that can be mentored, and the ability to offer mentoring directly from skill objects, such as Mischief skill at a computer or a tablet, or flower arranging at the flower arranging bench requires Seasons expansion pack, and your Sims will be mastering new skills in no time. I'm going to assume there's more than what's showing here. I haven't actually updated my game on my desktop, so I haven't had a lot of time to examine it. But there's also a Your Sim is Here. So when you're at the map view, like if you're traveling or whatever, you can see the picture of the sim that you're controlling showing where they are on the map. I do have it on my laptop, and I have updated there. I just haven't played with it very much, but I have examined it a little bit. There's a bug report for that, where someone said they're not getting paid for mentoring, like that there's an option there, but that is supposed to be with the pack. So this seems similar to the thing with the unit outlines, where it's there, but it's not functional because it's not supposed to be in base game. So I assume they're going to remove it too. And we have more creator kits coming soon. I think these were announced, but they're coming in April. Sibylette Sleek Bathroom and A Harris 00 Brittany's Sweet Allure creator kits. The actual timing in April hasn't been announced, but the fact that they're coming was announced in the patch note. So then we had a lot of fixes, and all the fixes on the laundry list were noted in the patch notes, and there were some extra ones, but all but one of the extra ones don't actually have bug reports for them. So anything there that is underlined, that was already on the patch notes. We're going to move along. So there was more things from the patch notes, but all the things there that don't have underlines, like to the EA forums, those were not in the patch notes, but they're things that they have fixed anyways, which you can see. So there's some mentor interactions are back for washing machines, so your Sims can learn the ropes of repair without a hitch. There's Nina Calante's body and clothes textures will appear flawlessly across all graphic settings. Several skill icons enjoy playing hide and seek in the interaction menu. They're now back where they belong. And then the Cozy Reese from the Cozy Celebration event would stop your Sims going through their front door. And now that shouldn't be the case. And then the chats with stuffed animals for toddlers are more performant than ever. Now, here's another one with some more things. There's only one thing here that was from the bug section that was on the laundry list, and all the rest that you can see are new. There is one there about body sliders, which also makes me a little bit, wondering about that bug. The fact that they fixed something with body sliders in addition to what we're speculating about. And then here we have some more for city living through cottage living. I don't actually know. The animal aging, there's a bug report for it that's new. This linked to an old bug report, but the new bug report, I don't know that it's been turned off. And Little Miss Sam has a mod to fix it, and it hasn't been retired. So I'm not really sure if that particular one with cottage living has been fixed. But that's the only one that I can say I've had a comment or seen anything about. And we have some more here. So there's a couple on here. There's actually 3 on here that weren't on the laundry list, 2 that don't have a link to the EA forums, but one for Dream Home Decorator, where interior decorators were seeing 0 earnings in their results pop up. That has a link, but that wasn't on the laundry list, so that's supposed to be fixed too. And then here we have 3 more things that don't have links, and they're all new and weren't on the laundry list. So there were more fixes, than the 23 that were on the laundry list. So the other thing is the update brought a new file, and it's called the Local Sims Texture Cache Package file, and it can be quite large. That's a screenshot from my laptop, and it's quite big. And EAK responded to say that it acts as a cache of compost sim textures. It's used to speed up loading times. While it is safe to delete, it will be generated again the next time you launch the game, and it has a file size limit of 100 megabytes. So I get from that there's really no point deleting it. I don't think it's like the local thumb cache, which pertains to like sometimes stuff with mods gets in there. But I mean, if you're having problems, I guess you could. I'm not planning on deleting it every time I do my game like I do the local cache one. So here's the blog post with respect to the Burglars and the Burglar being back. And so Xena's designer and long-term simmer talked about why it was a big day on the 25th. Of course, they were an iconic sim in The Sims 2 and Sims 3, who sneaks into houses usually at night when the Sims are asleep to steal household items. So they had wanted to bring the Burglar back to The Sims 4, and now it is back. And everything you need to know about the Burglar. So how does the Burglar operate in The Sims 4? The infamous Robin Banks, yes, that's her name, we couldn't resist, only strikes at night, sneaking into your Sim's home while everyone is asleep, or even while they're awake. Before you know it, she'll be grabbing whatever is valuable and making her escape. Now, what I've heard is that Robin Banks is in new saves, and I think it may be just a random other Sim if it's in an existing save, or so I've heard. So if you're not getting Robin Banks, that might be why. So how to foil that midnight mischief. The Burglar can be arrested by the police if one of your Sims calls promptly. For those who want to play it safe, the Burglar alarm is back too. Place one in your Sim's home for extra protection, because that's the only way to guarantee the police get to the crime scene in time is by installing a Burglar alarm. So what I can gather is you actually need to upgrade it to call the police automatically. Which it actually does say there. So I don't see how a Burglar alarm really helps very much, except for that it'll wake up your Sim so that they call the police. So it'll help, but it's not as helpful if it's not upgraded. But, and then it can also reduce the chance of breaking, so it can break or even zap the Burglar, forcing her to drop her stolen goods. And if you prefer to handle the situation yourself, the Sims can take action, whether it's waking up to call the cops, who may or may not catch the thief, or getting into a one-on-one fight. Your Sims have options, and so those who have been hitting the gym have a better chance of winning those fights. Whereas some of the previous Sims, it wasn't necessarily something you could do. Only Sims with certain traits or whatnot could do that. So, special Sims can unleash new defenses. Stopping the Burglar will feel unique depending on who's in the household. Special Sims bring even more exciting possibilities. Have a dog, they'll chase the Burglar right out. Of course, that requires cats and dogs. Werewolves can intimidate the Burglar into leaving. That requires the Sims 4 werewolves. Spellcasters, they've got everything from confusion spells to full-on transformations. Requires Realm of Magic. Servos can zap the Burglar into place with their defense matrix, which requires Discover University. Scientists can use the freeze ray to immobilize them, which requires Get to Work. And vampires, of course, might take advantage of the situation for a quick warm-blooded snack before commanding the Burglar to leave, and that requires Sims 4 vampires. Even Sims without superpowers have fun reactions. Teenagers might stop to take a selfie with the Burglar before bolting to safety. Talk about stealing the spotlight. So it does seem like they put a lot of work into them. Iconic characters like Agnes Crumplebottom and Bonehilda won't run. They're ready to fight. In total, they've included over 50 unique reactions across base game and 17 different packs, along with 37 player-directed interactions. Who knew a bit of thievery could add so much character to your game? Burglar visits are rare. This is, which I had commented before, this is where I had read it, because they want those moments to stand out. But for those who thrive on chaos, they've got us covered with the new lot challenge, Heist Havoc. Turn this on, and not only will the Burglar visit more often, but even trusty alarms might start acting up. You've been warned. So essentially, this is part of the 25th birthday, and I do think it is quite a fun addition. And then they had a fun little video where it shows some of the interactions with the Burglar. There is also a cheat to, I think you can shift click on the mailbox to get the Burglar. Again, like I said, I haven't actually interacted or tried the Burglar. And I'd heard that when people did that the Burglar wasn't Robin Banks. But then I heard later, like I said before, that the ROM banks may not be in existing saves. So anyways, it's and there's the police coming. And yeah, so anyways, it's quite the fun little video, and it's on The Sims YouTube if you want to see it with all the music in all its glory. So moving on, there are a few things if you're having problems that I would suggest that you do. This is really more for computer players. So there is one thing that I've heard console players can do, and that is to fully turn off their consoles, leave it off for a few minutes and turn it back on, because that sort of like helps clear things out. But for computer players, but for both actually, even though I have made a comment down lower, I would recommend heading over to the EA forums to see if the issue you are seeing has been reported there. But if you don't see it and you play with mods, move your mods folder to your desktop. And I say mods, that means mods and custom content. Check your saves folder for any mod settings files, because some mods put them there, and you would need to move those out too if there are any. I would recommend you repair your game in the EA app or in Origin if you're on an older Mac. And on Steam, this is verified game files, and the Origin is still there until April 17th, 2025. Delete your local thumb cache file. If your game worked with your mods folder out, do the following. Check on the status of your mods and custom content, and you can also just try doing a 50-50 of your mods. So if the issue persists with your mods folder out, go check the EA forums, which you could have done in the first place. But in that case, if it's not been reported yet, if it's an issue with the mods folder out, I would recommend doing a bug report at that point. And the other thing you can do if the things you have done don't work is you could try doing a factory reset of your user files, and there'll be a link for Crin's guide on my blog post. And a reminder, mods and custom content were automatically disabled with this update because it did break a lot of mods. So before we get to the mod impact, I already touched on the one major bug with the update, but another bug is that werewolves cannot select the nose color. They're essentially just monochromatic. So they had the original one there, which had some screenshots to show it, but the updated version doesn't have the screenshots anymore. But I had already got the screenshots before they got taken away, so I'm just showing them. And the vote count was 67 last I looked, so quite a few. Another one is that on console, they're not able to select the tattoos and CIS. It may be that it works with a keyboard, but that doesn't have a lot of upvotes, but from what I can gather, it does have 19 comments, so it is, pretty common issue for console players. Another thing here, this is an older bug report, but it is way more common since the February 25th update. So you can see there's 77 comments, and when I looked, there was only a handful of comments before February 25th update, and so the majority of those comments are since the February 25th update. So the bug is that the retail workers and vets don't spawn for a business, and so the customer can't buy or get their pets cured. So the edit by Crin really kind of explains what's on the thread. So the thread covers that you're trying to get your pet examined, but when you get to the vet clinic, there's no employees there. You want to visit a retail lot as a customer, but you can't buy anything, or you want to visit a retail lot as a customer and there's no vendors present. So that's what this bug report is for. And like I said, it does have 112 upvotes. I don't know how many were there from before, but I would be surprised if there's quite a few that are new, just because based on the comment count, it's a lot higher now than it was before. Just a manual look of it, where there were only a handful before. Another thing is just minor, but the lot information icon is shining all the time when you're in build mode, so you can see there what it looks like, and that has had a few upvotes itself. I had already mentioned about the doing laundry was on the patch notes, but it's not actually there, so someone has done a report for this. This is also very minor. It doesn't even have that many upvotes, but if you're someone who likes to knit clothes with knitting and add them to your wardrobe, unfortunately, when you're in live mode, it no longer tells you what you've unlocked. It shows as not being unlocked. It won't let you add it again, from what I could gather. When you go in to create a sim, they will be unlocked, but you have to manually keep track of it, unfortunately. So that's something I like to do, so hopefully they fix that one soon, but I'm not really sure if they will. So the last thing is the mod impact. I tend to look at loose lists, but it doesn't cover anything that raises the game's ratings, which is essentially said here in this summary. Another place you can look is Scarlett has a list, and she has covers not safe for work mods. And also if you go in like Deaderpool's Discord and their Sims After Dark Discord, they also track it there, so you can go to those spots. This is just a point in time when I'm doing this, so that tells you the indexes that Luth has. So here's what was newly broken at this point in time that I'm doing this recording, so you can see what's still broken per this list and also what's obsolete, unsupported. And then they have the comment there about not mod related, which was that nose color for werewolves, which I covered, that bug report, and also the distorted children and younger problem, which we covered at the beginning of the video. But in that case, it appears to take advantage of mods, so I think mods might make it worse. So then we have updated game mods and tools, which there are quite a lot. The Sims 4 Studio actually had an update after this was closed off for the day, so I just putting a note there of what the most recent version is. There's like a lot of mods by Little Miss Sam. Some mods even got re-updated, as you can see here, where Luth will bold that it's re-updated. And I would recommend going. This is just to show you how many mods were updated at the point in time that I got this screenshot, which was a lot. And there's a little bit here for build by NCIS, what was broken, what was updated, not so much with that. And the other thing is that custom tattoos did not break with the patch, but they don't have the new opacity slider feature. And here's some mods that were cleared by creators, so still, you know, fair amount, more than I was expecting, so that was good, but still nothing compared to what broke. And then here's just the core injector testing and protection mod status. So this is just like the main mods, and it's not necessarily that they were updated, but it tells you what the most recent version is, and she always says where you can get them. So that's just it for a really high level overview of the mod impact. The other thing is the developer live stream was supposed to happen on Friday, February 28th, but they had some issues where their broadcast studio lost power, which impacted their live stream, and then they later on in the day came back and said that the live stream is going to be on Monday, March 3rd. It's 1 p.m. Eastern because it's Discord. It converts to my time zone, which I'm in Eastern. So you can go watch it there, and then it links to YouTube and Twitch. YouTube, it's already set up as a premiere. So if you go to YouTube, you can see it there. Again, this is my time zone, but it'll show what it is in your own time zone, and you can also turn notifications on so that you're notified when they go live. And there's just the description for the pack. So they're also planning on going over the base game update too, in addition to the new pack. But if you're looking for things already, there are some extra early access content out there. But anyways, let me know how the update went for you. Have you updated yet, or are you avoiding the update? If you've already heard about the child distortion bug, are you avoiding the update for that or any other reasons? I'd love to know in a comment down below. But that's going to be it for this video. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!